Hello, my name is Mari Fitzwin, and I'm with Faith Journey Publishing. And today I'm meeting with Phyllis Myung. Phyllis was a recent contributor to our Spring 2023 anthology. And Phyllis, I'm pleased you could join me via Zoom.
Yeah, I'm so glad to be here. I'm so excited to talk with you.
Yeah, it's always a pleasure to have you um, either an interview or some of your wonderful workshops. So yours was one of 8 inspiring stories in our book, The Timing of Everything Promised. And the title of your particular story was, Faith, Legacy, and God's Promises. So I want to ask you, can you share with us, can you sum up the focus of your story's message in a few words?
Yeah, absolutely. I really wrote this story for my dad, and my dad passed away. It's going to be 4 years in a couple days, actually, that he passed away. And you know, in the past 4 years that I have talked to my brother and to my mom, kind of about my dad and his life. I think one of the things that really broke my heart a lot was that my my father had this really difficult childhood and grew up and then had this amazing family. I think we're pretty amazing. And then I felt like his life was cut so short. And so when I was thinking about how God fulfills our promises, I immediately my thoughts came to my dad. And so I kind of talk about that in my story a little bit about how um, my dad ended up passing down this beautiful faith uh, that was based on promises that maybe to him were unfulfilled, but I became that promise that was fulfilled. And so I would say that kind of sums up my contribution to our anthology.
Would you also conclude then that it's why it was the story you chose to submit, or additionally to what you've already mentioned, do you want to tell us any more about why this is? Because your father he did have, from your story, this amazing childhood and a full life in that he became a father, you know. But out of all of the stories about your family and your dad, why is this particular one the one you chose to submit?
Yeah, a lot of it is I think as I look at my own child and as I became a parent myself, and just kind of thinking back on the generations that kind of came before me. And my dad grew up without any parents because they were taken away from him and they were killed when he was only about 5. And so to go from that to being an orphaned, child, and to have his own family, and then to have my brother and I both, we both are married and have children, and that kind of carrying on this legacy of parenting that comes um, after everything that he had been through. And I just felt like that it's like there's so many things that we can't see and we don't know what's to come, but we have that faith, and like God gives us that faith. And so whatever it was that my dad had pictured in his future, this is being lived out. This promise that was made to him, I think, was being fulfilled. And so that was a huge reason why I just really I felt like I had to tell my dad's story. I just remember the joy of every single grandchild that he gets to hold, like that, and he held, like he was grinning from year to year. Because I think it was just that next generation that was happening for him. And that was something really special and something that maybe when he was growing up, that maybe he thought was not possible for him. So yeah, so I think a lot of that has to do with, my motivation and my inspiration, why I wrote the story, why I chose this particular story about my dad. Um, but also just to honor his legacy.
That is, that's beautiful. And it's also very touching. Your story touched me deeply anyway. And you communicated it very well in writing, but there's nothing like hearing the author really speak to the story. And what was your inspiration behind your contribution to the anthology?
Yeah, I was just, I'd probably written several different things only because I was trying to think about, I was kind of in a place in my life when I was writing and contributing to an anthology that was just like, yeah, I don't know. Is God fulfilling promises? I don't know. And I just had to take a moment to look back and to see all the things that God has done and to see how those were promises that were fulfilled that I didn't even realize because you're just moving forward and you're just a lot of times we're just thinking about what's the next
In the moment, yeah.
in the moment and we forget all the things that have brought us to this place. And so it just really felt apt that that was going to be my dad's story because now I get the benefit of looking back at his life and the whole arc of it and then being able to see, this is where God is faithful. And this is where God was so good. That story definitely gets told with the story. And so, yeah, just in that reflection, I think really inspired me.
Phyllis, what words of encouragement do you want to offer to women of color
Yeah.
as writers or in whatever genre or
Yeah.
blogging? Yeah.
Yep. In whatever space it might be, your
Mhm.
voice needs to be heard. Like I need to hear your voice. I think there's something that is very rich that comes from all the different voices of different women of color and all of their experiences. Even though some of us might have similar experiences, there is still uniqueness in each and every one. And so I want to hear every single one of those stories. My life just got so much richer by reading all the other authors who contributed to our anthology and just their stories. And I could just imagine that being the case for so many other women of color who we still have yet to hear the stories from. And so I just want to encourage, I know it's scary, and I know that sometimes it feels like, who's going to listen to my story? Well, I want to hear it. And I think it's really important that it gets out there and that whether it's on blogs or it's part of an anthology, part of magazines or articles, blogs, like whatever it might be, even on social media, right? Because our voice is still out there. Oh man, just keep writing, keep speaking up, and keep telling their stories to bring them down.
And our mission at Faith Journey Publishing is exactly along those same lines. It's to create pathways to publishing for women of color over the age of 45. And I do appreciate your thoughts and encouragement to those who are viewing this brief interview to understand that yes, you want to hear their stories. We want to hear their stories. What were your thoughts about working with Faith Journey Publishing, and how was your experience working with us
Yeah.
overall?
So I loved it. It was so great, right? And when I first heard about Space Journey Publishing and just kind of what your mission was, I just got so excited because that is definitely, I've been feeling really down because I'm in my mid 40s. I am definitely over that 45 mark now. And I was just reflecting back and thinking, oh man, I felt like maybe I haven't accomplish all the things that I have. And somebody was reminding me about all these people who later in life accomplished all these things that now they are really well known for, right? But it happens so much later in life, and that I am just starting, and that I still have so many more years to go. So the fact that you focus on, especially women of color who are over 45, that so many women are at that point, and they have this whole another life ahead of them with stories and experience that are so rich and that wouldn't have been there if they were in their 20s, right? But now that they're in this age bracket, and they've lived life a little, they've experienced life a little bit. And so I just think it's so important, and it was just so amazing. And to me, I was just so lucky and glad that I somehow stumbled upon you guys. That to me is just such God's huge grace in my life.
Well, we are just excited, as I said, each time that you come to join us, and reading your blog, and just your teaching and sharing your experiences. And I will just say to those who are watching, if you'd like to know more about Faith Journey Publishing and how we can help you put your story in front of readers around the globe, contact us at faithjourneypublishing.com or follow us on Instagram or on Facebook. Phyllis, always a joy, always a delight. And you keep blogging away, and I don't know, we're looking forward to more writing in any iteration that God gives you.
Thank you so much, Mari. Thank you so much.
All right. Bye now.
See you later.